Welcome to the Momentum Podcast, where we feature founders and industry leaders who are bold, brilliant, and built to last. I'm Theresa Bassett, author, speaker, and CEO of the Diamond Group, an SMB sales and marketing agency. I'm here to share real stories and strategies from founders and leaders breaking through to their next level. I love helping small businesses grow. My mission: to help entrepreneurs just like you build sustainable, scalable businesses that align with your purpose and create lasting impact. On this show, we sit down with small business owners, growth stage founders, and change makers who are navigating the messy middle of scaling. Episodes typically run about 30 to 40 minutes, packed with insights, practical takeaways, and raw conversations. Let's get into it. Okay. Hello. Welcome back to the Momentum Podcast. I'm Theresa Bassett, CEO of the Diamond Group, and your host today. And today I am so excited. I have evidence that Google is still working. Aleya found us in her search for more platforms to let people know about the great work she's doing. And I'm so excited to have Aleya Harris today here with the Evolution Collective. And thank you, Aleya, for helping us celebrate momentum. You know, this is a podcast about founders and CEOs, the journeys that got them here, and what's keeping them in momentum day to day. And honestly, like, this is totally casual. Sometimes we have a conversation about, like, you know, what does it take to eat for breakfast to stay in momentum? And sometimes it's about literally like marketing tactics or branding or storytelling, which I know is right up your alley. So tell our listeners, like, what fires you up? Tell us about your business and your organizations. I know there's multiple facets to your fabulousness. So tell us about that.
So that's two different questions. So I'm going to start with my business and all that. And then what fires me up, yes, is my business, but I'm not just my business, right? We are more than that as humans.
Absolutely.
So I am a strategic storytelling consultant. So I focus on using radically authentic strategic storytelling to help leaders lead better, cultures clarify and collaborate, and speakers speak better from the stage. So on the Evolution Collective side, that's my strategic storytelling consultancy, where we go into organizations and help with workshops, leadership training, and cultural transformation so that people understand the vision, they understand how they're a part of the vision and the business's story, and they know exactly what the next chapter is going to bring for them. Wow. And then on the other side, I use storytelling and Spark the Stage to help people become better speakers. So I'll train you from soup to nuts. If you've never been on a stage before, you're my human. Then I also have Spark the Pitch, where we use storytelling to pitch people who are more experienced speakers out into the world and get them on more stages.
Wow, that's amazing. So with the on the consultative side, on the consultative side, what where do people typically have their speed bumps? Like, in their storytelling, where do you find the biggest kinks in the garden hose for people?
Oh man. So first of all, let's make sure they know that there's a kink in the garden hose and that what they're doing is not like cool. A lot of the times the biggest thing is leadership blindness. So I am in a visioning session with the rest of the exec team, and I think that life is great. We have this beautiful vision. The values are on the wall. Integrity, you know, the picture of the lion. Like, we're doing great.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you ask a frontline or more junior employee what the vision is and how they fit in, they're like, we have a vision. I'm just here for a paycheck, man.
Yeah.
And the execs total disconnect. The execs never know. And it takes a lot of energy and effort to put together your company's story. And then we run out of gas. Yeah. So we then don't take it to the next step and make sure that it is embedded in the organization, that it is manifesting in the behaviors that people are exhibiting day in and day out. And that is the first biggest hang up. And then the second biggest hang up is doing it and not being cheesy.
Like, not being cliche with just a bunch of marketing talk. around it.
Yeah.
Well, and don't you think it's a challenge? I mean, I struggle with this as a leader and a human myself. Of course, we've been in business 30 years. So, like everything's different. I mean, the
Yeah.
internet wasn't even a thing then,
Yeah.
but I mean, some of what I think leadership struggles with is the evolution of the vision and keeping it relevant. Like all those things you're talking about almost have to be like on constant refresh mode, don't they?
That's why I love using storytelling structures,
Mhm.
because stories have multiple chapters, multiple books, right?
Yeah.
Multiple
Yeah.
volumes. You can just keep going and building off of the story that you've already had. And we use the hero's journey a lot. Everybody knows it, loves it. It's basically, if you've seen the Star Wars movies, you know
It's
all
the
about the hero's
Pixar
journey.
movie arc. Yeah,
Exactly,
absolutely. Yeah.
exactly. But one of my favorite things to do is to research and utilize storytelling techniques from other places around the world.
Oh, yay.
The reason I do that is, one, I would love a non colonized perspective. But two, it's because the hero's journey focuses on a singular hero doing a good thing, overcoming obstacles,
Right.
getting success. Companies are not a bunch of single heroes together. It's about the collective. And so when you use African storytelling techniques like the griot, or when you think about like the storytelling techniques that they use in like the Ifa religion, right? It's about the collective, the learning, the progression, the cycles, and how
So,
we're coming together.
yeah.
So I apply different storytelling techniques depending on what everyone's situation is, so that people can see themselves. The other biggest mistake that people make is that they don't listen.
Mhm.
So you're like, here's the story. Well, no, a story needs to be co created, hard stop, and not co created with just your exec team.
Yeah.
A story needs to be co-created with everyone, and take into account their whole humanity, not just their job titles.
Yeah, wow. Well, you have touched on so many points. I love the idea of using different storytelling constructs to celebrate the collective because you're absolutely right. We're not just a group of, individual heroes in the story. And I actually I've struggled with that even with within marketing, helping companies clarify the story or working with founders to clarify their brand story because they have their individual story. Sometimes it's hard to marry that up to the collective story
Mm-hmm,
if
mm-hmm,
you're
mm-hmm.
looking at it through that lens. And I know I've struggled with that too because I too have the speaking, coaching, consulting side, but then I have this company that is not about me. That is
Yeah,
like I'm a part of a team, right? And really helping people's voice be celebrated in that story has been a struggle for me. So that's fascinating.
I'm so glad that you said that, and you're not alone. It's very, 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 very common.
Yeah.
So your job now, and everybody's job that's in your position, is to hold listening sessions, to get your
Hmm.
team together. Say, tell me about a time when you actually felt like you were a part of this company and like you would bleed our company colors. And then tell me about a time when, and there's no penalty here. Tell me about a time when you like almost gave me the resignation. What was that? What were those times? Tell me about a time when, our company, one of our company's values is humanity. Tell me
Yeah.
about a time when you've seen somebody else really embody that value.
Demonstrate that. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you tell me about a time when you have demonstrated humanity outside of work? Now, how does that affect you inside of work? How does
Hmm.
that resonate with your backstory? Tell me
Yeah.
your background. Not, we're not talking about like, that's like the coded question for like, what race are you? No, tell me your background is like, what did
Yeah.
you like? What do you love? What were you like
Yeah.
as a kid?
Yeah.
Are
How
you
did your
living your
mindset and your
dreams?
perspective evolve? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot about how someone participates in a story
Yeah.
and the
That's so.
role they like to have.
So, who do you recommend how hold those listening sessions? Is that because that could change
Me,
the
that's part of my
you?
job.
Oh,
Me,
you.
hire me.
So
But
fascinating. So, actually, you're recommending that a third
External
party,
person.
an
Yes,
impartial person interview the team, because you're right, it's going to pull out completely different information than if me, the CEO, goes in and tell me about a time you gave me your resignation.
exactly. And what you want to do too is in the room, the way that I started off is we are writing a story together. The story book has all blank pages right now. All of us are full of stories, and we have one pen that we're all using together to create a collective story from these blank pages. There's no wrong story, there's no
Oh,
hierarchy of
yeah.
stories.
Yeah.
We're coming together now. And then you start off and you build that psychological safety with maybe a couple of other exercises, a couple of tools before you dive into this, so that the stories you get give you the insights you need to understand where people's heads are at, what type of company they think they're in versus the company you thought you built.
Yeah.
And what does that mean for the bottom line? Because I'm all about money. I love me some money. So storytelling sounds like squishy and wishy and like, let's get all feelings. Yeah, man, let me break this down to you real quick. If you have a big initiative or a product or a client or a sale, and you think you're going in one direction, and your team, yeah, they might be following you in that direction, but they're not doing it willingly, or they're going in a different direction, or they maybe even going in the opposite direction. How much money do you think that's going to cost you?
Oh, yeah.
Or a lot, right?
A
Let's
ton.
say
Oh, because it
people want to go in
totally.
that direction and they don't know
Yeah.
their role. So they're
Yeah.
really wanting to do great by you, but they don't know how they fit in. How
Well,
much money
and
is
to
that going
your
to cost
point,
you?
that influences them subconsciously, even in their
Mhm.
posture around every way they communicate, right through pricing, packaging, productizing, like the belief they have in the work that they're doing for the client. Like everything gets communicated in subtle ways, right? 75% of our language is body language and tone.
Absolutely.
And so it's like there's a ton of opportunities, to your point, for them to undermine the relationship that they're actually on the surface all about.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I'm so glad you said that, Teresa. Ain't nobody gonna sit up there and be like, actually, I'm about to undermine you right now. No
Right.
one's gonna do that.
No.
They're gonna say things like, I'm right on board, or like, what is that movie? Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Yeah.
And she goes, I'm right
Yeah.
at the top of that rose. Like, that's what they're gonna say. I'm right on top.
Yeah.
And they might not even know that they are actually a detractor. Or they might
Yeah.
not know how confused they are. They actually might think they are crystal clear on what their role is supposed to be. And you're like, no, boo. It is
Yeah.
not that at all.
Yeah.
But the
I
only
think
way
a
you're
lot
going
of
to know that
times,
is if the story is the same.
right. And I think to your point, a lot of times people feel like they're insignificant in this story. Like
Oh, most definitely.
this story lives without me. And even though you might say it's co-creative, okay, we're creating it together, but how important is my part of this story?
Exactly.
Right?
Let me tell you what co-creation does not look like. Co-creation does not look like you and four executives go on your executive retreat. You write a story and you send it out. And then you say, if you guys have any feedback, let me know.
Yeah.
That is not co-creation. That is ivory tower dictatorship, right? Co-creation takes time. Co-creation takes patience. And it shows your team that you are invested in them. You have to take the time to have the listening sessions. You have to take the time to have the one-on-ones. You have to take the time to develop that story arc in a systematized way. If you don't, then just say that you're not going to do it. It's okay. That's not your culture. If you have a top-down approach and it's a command and control approach, do you, boo, but that's not going to work in the long run, especially with these millennials. I'm a millennial, and the Gen Zs and Gen Alpha. My daughter's an Alpha. She's 3, and if her three-nager self is any indication of what this generation is going to be.
And I'm finding, I don't think team wants you to tell them what you aspire to in the culture. I think they want you to show them. And
absolutely.
Right. And that goes farther than, so instead of me saying, I trust you, Aleya, I trust you looks sometimes like I'm quiet in the room. I'm out of the room because I'm trusting you to be in the room, right? And I'm empowering you by stepping
Mhm.
aside. And that's
Yep.
how I'm telling you I trust you by not
Exactly.
being there.
You actually are bringing up such a really, really good point. How many leaders actually understand the behaviors that they are supposed to exhibit to be part of the story that they wrote?
Oh, I actually think that's gold mine right there that you could that's a little
I
add-on
feel
to
a new
this.
product or service
Yeah,
coming. I feel
yeah,
it.
I'm feeling something being born here, Aleya. Absolutely. Absolutely, because you're absolutely right. I think you can say one thing as a leader, or you can embrace it, or you can put your rubber stamp seal of approval on it as a co-creation. But then how do I show up to demonstrate that I believe in that, that I'm a part of that? Right.
Yep,
And
exactly.
that can look very different. Well, you're um there's so many powerful parts of this, but I'm so glad that you're helping leaders do that work. So who do you love to work with? You said a lot of times that works with larger organizations. So who's your
Mhm.
ideal like avatar, like persona, client?
Company. I
Yeah.
love for this type of work, it tends to work better when you're large enough to have multiple teams. So it's not, I mean, if you are your leader and three other people, like we could do some leadership development work and we can absolutely develop your story. But the listening sessions and the broader work tends to work better in companies that have at least 15 people. But I've worked with companies that have several thousand.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
it's just it's really just about me sitting with whoever brought me in to have that meeting and having an idea that they actually want to do the thing. They
Yeah.
actually want to have the change. They have a culture where people are committed
Yeah.
to bringing everyone along because they understand that a fist is stronger than your five fingers individually, right? And
Yeah.
they're wanting to bring people together because they have some big, audacious goals. I love just because of who I am, I love working in the health and wellness space. I love working in the beauty space, but I've also worked with tech companies who'd make things that I don't even quite understand. So
Yeah.
people are people everywhere.
No, that's awesome. Well, I love that you can describe the kinds of teams that you love to work with. I'm fascinated to know how you got into this work, and I want to circle back around to that question. But I
Absolutely.
had another thought about that heroes storytelling structure versus the multicultural approach that
Yeah.
you're talking about, because the other limitation on that hero's journey that just dawned on me is that every single time, I mean, American storytelling movies are famous, and that they always have a happy ending, that
Mhm.
the hero always rises above the challenge and there's this certain triumph at the end, and so there's this assumption of victory built in. But really, when you're co-creating a story with a team and it's collaborative, you're linking arms with your team to solve this, to solutionize with them. And there's exciting opportunity because you are not just co-creating just anything. You're literally, you know, writing the story day to day together with an unknown outcome, with the hope of victory, right? But it's that thrill of what can come out of this and the synergy that's where all the excitement is. It's like we don't really know
Absolutely.
what the end of the story arc is. That's actually more
Absolutely.
exciting.
It's more exciting because you're part of the story as it's in progress.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, for everyone, it's not exciting. Some people find that terrifying. So there's a balance there, right?
Yeah.
The balance is there is something that is for sure for people that need stability. It's the past.
Yeah, right.
And
Best
so
indicator of future performance is the past. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you can look at and you use kind of more of like the ancestral approach. Like, what did our quote unquote ancestors do?
Right. Right.
What did they learn from? What part of the cycle of their cycle are we in?
And you're
If we
right,
have,
that can add so much assurance to the journey. In fact,
Mhm.
we're kind of going through it right now, even as a company.
Mm,
We're going through some cultural, correction, if you will, just less cultural, probably more marketplace correction,
Hmm.
because the marketplace is just evolving and changing so rapidly
Yes.
now. AI
Yes.
is really changing the game in a lot of different ways, and many of them unspoken, many of
Mm.
them actually shaking, consumer confidence, I think, because business owners
Ah,
are asking themselves different questions, largely questions like, can I just do this myself?
myself. Yeah. If me and ChatGPT got together,
Yeah,
could we
could I
do this?
just do this myself? And
Mm.
that is a destabilizing question in the decision
Uh-huh.
making in the sales process, if you will, because the sales journey, then they're flip flopping, right?
Right.
It's a very it just changes the trajectory. But we have employees, we have team members who have never been through any kind of inflection points in the company's
Hmm.
history because they've been here for whatever 2.5 years. They haven't been here for 30. And so, to
Right.
your point, they need the longer standing leadership team to go, it's okay. We've been through this. We've seen
Hmm.
the floods, we've seen the fires, we will emerge. And so that's the stability point. You're right. Like, we got this because we got it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. We've
Yeah.
got this. We've done this. We've got you.
Right.
Right. But that's hard to believe, right?
Yeah.
So, does everybody that's within the story trust that the story is going to be what you're saying it is, right? Like, there's so much. When I tell you how important psychological safety is to storytelling, I can't say it enough. No one is going to tell their story if they think that there's going to be a backlash.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I think that is the number one, environmental condition that you have to have that in place. And that's, to your point, why having a third party
Hmm.
come into these listening sessions could be really helpful too.
Absolutely. Because they also, depending on how you structure your sessions, you also can have mixed level sessions, single layer sessions. You can have sessions where you are my favorite type, where I'm basically being Oprah and I'm interviewing a leader or a group of leaders, and other people are in the audience and they're hearing the
Yeah.
responses. It all matters on what your goals are, but there's lots of things that an external person can do that you just can't.
Yeah.
And one of the main things you can't do as a CEO is be part of the group.
Yeah. But don't you think that in and of itself for CEOs can be scary too? Talk about psychological safety. If my team's all going
Absolutely.
over here with some consultant that I may or may not have a history with, and they're talking about the culture, they're talking about their trajectory, they're talking about me even in my leadership style, like that too, you probably have to reassure CEOs, how they feel psychologically safe to let that happen, you know,
Yep.
encourage it.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, you asked me about my ideal client, and I said people that are actually going to do the thing. Well, that requires you to not know what the thing is in advance and be okay with that.
Yeah, yeah, I was going to say trust.
Trust, you have to release control.
Right,
Also, trust yourself. Know what you have already built.
right.
Know that there are certain things that are not going to change, and also know that you are still a CEO and have veto power,
Yeah.
right?
And also trust the process that you're talking about, which is strengthening the collective and the synergy of the
Mm-hmm.
team, that actually something better always comes out of that than the go to the mountaintop approach.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It always is better and probably less personal and more in touch than if you had just done it by yourself or if the executives had just done it all in a small group.
Yeah, yeah. That's so awesome. Well, I hope our listeners will, definitely see how a process like this and really getting in touch with their story, being able to tell a better version of their story can fuel their momentum and their brand
Yes.
clarity, right? And their messaging and all of that, and help them connect to the better people as a result that they can really
Yeah.
serve. I mean, that's the goal, right?
Yes, absolutely. You got it. You nailed it.
Yeah. So what keeps you in momentum? What keeps you fueled up for this journey that, that really helps you dig deep when you're in this constantly evolving marketplace?
Theresa, I feel like I'm scaffolded by many.
Yeah. Oh, aren't we all, Aleya? Yes. You mean duct taped? Is that what you mean? Duct taped together?
Exactly. Shoot, I'm just going to go down my list. So I love, love, love Michael Hyatt's Full Focus Planner. I'm a very organized person, and I thought that I was organized, and I had organized myself into stress by organizing every single minute of every single second of every single day, right? And then that caused me to lose focus. So my Full Focus Planner is one beam of the scaffold, one stretch of duct tape. Another one is I had postpartum depression after I had my baby, and she was born November 7th, 2022. So I love me some Wellbutrin, some Zoloft, therapy, Spravato appointments, yoga, and my mental health is key. I built the other side of my business. Yeah, paramount. I built the other side of my business, which is a speaker training and speaker pitching.
Yeah.
Specifically to exist if I had a nervous breakdown. So the way that I have the content structured, the way that I have my leadership structure, if I was gone from that side of the business, I would be okay.
That is brilliant. So kudos to you. Well, not necessarily because I know it came about as, the school of
however it comes, it's much better.
Yeah, the school of tough love. And I know that's not fun. Congratulations on the birth of your child, but you're really smart to recognize that, all things are not just steady Freddy, equally sustainable through all seasons of life, and that to actually do right by your clients and your team, you have to prepare for these seasons where maybe it's not all going to be all go all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. And the smartest thing is to realize that it is, in fact, not going to be all go all the time. Yeah. Things happen, good and bad, right? Like your kid gets married and you're gone for a month to their Italian destination
wedding.
You
do not have to tell me. I just went through 90 days of shit show covered with business, covered with holiday.
Sounds like a December to me.
And I didn't see any of it coming. I didn't see any of it coming.
See, and sometimes you can plan for that and sometimes you can't, but you can actually plan for more than you think that you can.
Yeah, you're right. And the hidden blessing in it is now all the foundational work that I did to fortify the culture and the team so they could stand up without me being all go all the time. Every moment. So to your point, planning for the plan B and plan C, like that is just going to happen one day. Let's just prepare for it.
Yeah.
And then you get the affirmation of that work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that, those are the main things, scaffolding, the meditation, journaling, candles.
Yeah. Yeah. All the therapy.
All the things. All the things.
Well,
have a money mentor, coaching, all the things. Yeah. Whoever said that entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart, a true thing has never been spoken.
No, because, and if you think about it, as a solopreneur in particular, when you're at those stages in your business, and I don't know what kind of team you have around you, but whether you have a team of, 20 people around you, 200 people, or solopreneur, nothing other than your business is going to be the biggest mirror held up to your face to go, like, look what's going on with you. Yeah, business just has a unique way of doing that. And you just can't escape it.
You can't escape it. Yeah. And then not only can you not escape it, but then there's like a masochistic part of you that doesn't actually want to. And
yeah. And then there's the oh shit part of you that's like, oh, no one's coming to save me. This is the thing I created.
all at the same time. It's sick. It's sickening, Theresa.
Well, I absolutely applaud that you're helping, organizations fortify themselves in this way. And I think you're
Mhm.
really smart to also, it sounds like you've built your structure so you stay tapped into what really fuels you, what you're really passionate about. And then the way that you can carry on in those, in those sometimes plan B moments that are coming.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Well, I feel inspired, honestly, and I am so grateful for the conversation. And I think any organization that is looking to clarify their story, to really co-create and learn what co-creation in their culture looks like, you're
Mm.
getting some powerful secrets in helping CEOs get out of their own way and trust, right, their team and really empower them, and at the same time kind of lift that atlas, that's sitting on their shoulders that makes them think that they have to do it all. And what you're offering is actually, what if we did it?
Yes. What if we did it?
What if we did
Yes.
it?
Yes.
And that, I
Absolutely.
think that is where all the magic is.
Yes. I 100% agree.
Yeah. Well, you are amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing your brilliance. And, diamonds are created under pressure, just like small businesses and their owners.
Yes.
And no pressure, no diamonds. And it sounds like
Yep.
you've had some of that pressure, and all the good stuff is coming out because of it.
Absolutely. Yes. And I'm now getting to see diamonds and I love diamonds. So it is worth it. And some of the diamonds are really the internal ones, realizing how smart I am, how resilient I am, how magnetic I am,
Yeah.
right? How connected I am, how loved I am. Those deep realizations don't happen without going through something.
Yeah. Well, and I'll add to that list how communicative you are, how
Oh,
self-aware you are, but also what a heart of service you have for the people that you're serving and the way that you're serving them. So that's very intuitive
thank you.
work that you're doing. And it takes a lot of depth. So I also want you to pat yourself on the back for those things, would you? Oh,
I absolutely will. I receive
absolutely.
all compliments. Thank you so much. Thank
Nice.
you.
Well, it has been such a joy and a privilege. Thank you so much. It's been a blessing to have you on the show today. And I look forward to celebrating this episode with, your team, the folks that already are following you on LinkedIn and the Diamond Group on LinkedIn. But we have so many business owners and founders to serve out there. So thank you for helping them stay in momentum.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. This has been a great conversation.
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been awesome. Well, upward and onward from here, girl.
Yes, ma'am.
We're in it. Sounds good. Thanks again so much for tuning into the Momentum Podcast. I truly appreciate you being here. If you're a founder or entrepreneur with a story to share and you're in the growth phase of your business, I'd love to hear from you. Visit podcast.diamond-group.co to apply to be a guest. Again, that's podcast.diamond-group.co to be a guest. If this episode helped you, inspired you, or made you think differently, please share it, leave a review, or hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Remember, my mission is to spotlight stories and strategies that help purpose-driven business owners grow with clarity, confidence, and intention. To learn more about the Diamond Group, you can go to diamond-group.co. I'm Theresa Bassett. Remember that I'm with you and for you. Onward and upward. I'll see you next time.